Thank you. Each of us is born with unique challenges, and no one's path is free of obstacles. But the truth remains, there is no excuse for not trying. The world doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for effort, commitment, and the courage to keep going even when the odds are against you. Success isn't handed out. It's earned by those who dare to show up, who risk failure, and who keep pushing forward when it would be easier to give up. Life will always give us reasons to stand still. We may face poverty, lack of access, or discouragement from others. But history is full of people who rose above their circumstances, not because they had every advantage, but because they refused to let excuses define their lives. Trying is not about being guaranteed victory. It's about claiming your right to dream, to grow, and to contribute. It's about stepping forward even when the path is unclear. When you try, you learn. When you try, you inspire others to believe they can try too. And when enough of us try, even in small ways, we build communities that thrive and a society that moves forward. The only real failure is not to try at all. So no matter where you begin, no matter how far you think you have to go, know this: your effort matters. Your determination can change your life, and it can change the lives of those around you. There is no excuse for not trying, because in trying we find our strength. In trying we build our future. Success in life rarely comes from getting everything right on the first try. In fact, some of the most accomplished people in history are those who failed again and again, yet continued to move forward. What truly matters is the effort we put in our willingness to show up, to work hard, and to keep trying even when success seems far away. Perfection is an illusion, and waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect plan often leads to missed opportunities. The world doesn't need perfect people. It needs people who are willing to put in the work, to take risks, and to grow through experience. Effort is what shapes us. It builds discipline, character, and resilience. It teaches us lessons that no textbook or training can provide. Each time we push ourselves beyond our comfort zone, we develop the ability to deal with the unknown, to adapt, and to persevere. And that's what truly prepares us for success. When we measure our progress by effort rather than by flawless results, we begin to value the journey itself. We start to see setbacks as stepping stones, not roadblocks. Putting in the effort means showing up even when we don't feel ready. It means trying even when we're not sure we'll succeed. It means caring enough about our goals, our communities, or our future to give it our best, day after day. In a world where it's easy to compare ourselves to others or to feel like we're falling behind, choosing effort reminds us that we are already on the right path as long as we keep going. Those who achieve great things aren't necessarily the most talented or the most fortunate. They're often the ones who simply refuse to quit. In the end, effort is something we control. We can't always control the outcome, and we certainly can't control everything life throws our way. But we can control our decision to try. That decision, repeated over time, becomes a habit, and that habit becomes the foundation of growth. It may not be glamorous, and it's not always easy, but effort is the quiet force behind every meaningful accomplishment. Obstacles are a part of life. Every person, no matter how successful or privileged they may appear, has faced challenges, whether visible or hidden. Some of us are born into difficult circumstances. Others encounter setbacks along the way: financial hardship, lack of access to education, discrimination, self-doubt, or unexpected life events. These challenges can be real and deeply discouraging. But while they may slow us down or force us to take a different route, they should not become excuses that stop us from trying altogether. When we allow obstacles to become excuses, we give up our power. We let circumstances define what we can or cannot achieve rather than taking control of our own story. It's true that the playing field isn't always level, and some people have to work harder to get to the same place. But the decision to try, put in effort despite those challenges, is where real strength is found. It's the first step toward changing not just your own situation, but also reshaping the systems that created the barriers in the first place. Facing obstacles and choosing to keep going builds resilience. Every time you act in spite of fear, discomfort, or disadvantage, you prove to yourself and to others that your future is not limited by your present. The process might be slow, you might fall, you might even fail, but the important thing is that you are moving, and movement means progress. It means growth. It means you haven't given up. The truth is, everyone can find a reason not to try. But reasons aren't the same as justifications. When we stop trying, not because we've exhausted every option, but because we believe the path is too hard or unfair, we rob ourselves of the chance to rise. Obstacles are real, but so is our ability to respond to them. What matters is how we choose to face them, whether we let them define us, or whether we decide to keep going in spite of them. Choosing to try in the face of difficulty sends a powerful message, not only to yourself, but to others who may be struggling too. It says, "This isn't easy, but it's worth it. I'm not giving up, and you don't have to either." And that mindset, once shared, becomes a force that breaks down barriers and builds a culture of effort and perseverance. Trying is more than just an action. It's a declaration of belief in yourself. It's a decision to stand up and participate in your own future, even when the outcome is uncertain. When you try, you are doing more than moving toward a goal. You are claiming your right to matter, to grow, and to shape your own life. It's a form of empowerment that no one can give you and no one can take away. The moment you decide to try, you begin to take control of your story, no matter where that story started. Many people go through life waiting for permission, waiting for someone to tell them they're good enough, smart enough, strong enough to go after what they want. But the truth is, no one is more qualified to take that first step than you. Trying is how we overcome fear. It's how we silence the voices, internal or external, that say we aren't capable or deserving. When you take that first step, even if it's small, you shift the balance. You move from being a passive observer of your life to being an active creator of it. Trying empowers you to break free from doubt and limitation. You may not have all the resources, you may not have the full plan, but you have the power to begin. That's often the hardest part, choosing to begin when the path ahead is unclear or intimidating. Yet once you begin, you tap into a well of strength that you might not have known you had. Trying reminds you that progress is possible, that growth is earned one step at a time, and that even your failures are a sign that you had the courage to act. This kind of empowerment is contagious. When others see you trying, especially in difficult circumstances, they see what is possible for themselves. Your effort can be a spark for someone else, a silent message that says, "If I can try, so can you." That's how change begins, not just for individuals, but for entire communities. When enough people choose to try, even without guarantees, it shifts the culture. It creates momentum, it builds hope. So trying is not just a personal act, it's a powerful form of leadership. It starts with one person taking a step, but it doesn't end there. It grows, it spreads, and it has the power to change lives, starting with your own. Taking action, even when the outcome is uncertain, is one of the most powerful choices a person can make. When you try, when you step forward with genuine effort, you open the door to learning, growth, and unexpected opportunities. Whether you succeed or stumble, every attempt teaches you something new. You learn about your strengths, your weaknesses, your limits, and your potential. You learn how to adapt, how to adjust your approach, and how to keep moving forward with more insight than you had before. Many people hold back from trying because they fear failure, but failure itself isn't the end, it's a beginning. It's a teacher that reveals what doesn't work and, more importantly, pushes you to find out what might. The act of trying allows you to gather real, world experience that no amount of planning or imagining could replace. You learn how to deal with pressure, how to recover from mistakes, and how to stay committed even when progress feels slow. These lessons are not just useful, they're essential for any kind of personal or professional development. Trying also builds confidence. At first, you may feel unsure or even overwhelmed, but with each step, you begin to prove something to yourself. You prove that you are capable of more than you thought. You prove that you can face discomfort and keep going. Confidence doesn't come from standing still. It comes from movement, from effort, from engaging with the process. And the more you try, the more natural it becomes to take the next step and the one after that. What's more, action has a way of creating momentum. One small effort leads to another. One step forward opens a path you didn't see before. Even if your first few attempts don't produce the results you hoped for, they often lead you to insights and connections that ultimately help you succeed in unexpected ways. Progress often happens quietly, in the background, building with each honest effort. That's why trying, regardless of immediate outcome, is never wasted. The willingness to try again and again becomes a foundation for growth. You become more prepared, more informed, and more resilient with each effort. You're not just learning about a task, you're learning about yourself, and that kind of growth is lasting, powerful, and deeply transformative. When you choose to try, especially in the face of challenges or uncertainty, you're doing more than working toward your own goals. You're sending a message. That message says effort matters, courage matters, persistence matters, and whether you realize it or not, people around you are watching. They may be friends, family members, classmates, co-workers, or even strangers. Your actions can light a spark in someone else, showing them that trying is possible, even when it's hard, even when the path is unclear. We often underestimate the influence we have on others, but the truth is, people are inspired not by perfection, but by authenticity and effort. When you try, and others see you trying despite setbacks, fear, or disadvantages, you become a living example of what determination looks like. You show that effort itself has value and that success isn't reserved for those with perfect conditions. This kind of example is powerful, especially for those who may be struggling with self-doubt or feeling stuck in their own lives. Think about the people you admire. Chances are they aren't people who never failed. They're people who kept going. They're the ones who dared to show up again after falling short. That's what makes them admirable. And that's the same quality you demonstrate when you choose to keep trying. You don't have to be a public figure or an expert to inspire someone. Just being brave enough to make the effort can shift someone else's mindset. It can give them the hope and encouragement they need to try for themselves. Trying also builds a sense of community. When we see each other striving, putting in the work, and not giving up, we feel connected. We understand that we're not alone in our struggles, and we draw strength from each other's perseverance. One person's courage to try often creates a ripple effect. It gives others permission to start, to fail, to grow. Over time, that ripple becomes a wave, a collective energy that moves people forward, not just individually, but together. So when you try, you're not just working toward your own future, you're helping others believe in theirs. Your effort becomes a quiet but powerful kind of leadership. It challenges others to stop waiting, to stop doubting, and to begin. That's the kind of impact that lasts. That's how trying becomes more than personal. It becomes transformative for everyone around you. Not trying is the only true failure. Life is full of uncertainties, and nobody can guarantee success every time. But when we don't try at all, when we give in to fear, doubt, or the belief that we're not good enough, we rob ourselves of the chance to grow, to improve, and to reach what we're truly capable of. Trying is not about always winning. It's about showing up. It's about taking a chance on yourself. When you don't try, you've already decided the outcome, and you've chosen to let that outcome be nothing. Many people fear failing so much that they never begin. But the real risk is in doing nothing. When you don't try, you miss the opportunity to learn new skills, to meet new people, to challenge your limits, and to open doors that could change your life. Even if you fall short, the effort you put in teaches you something valuable. It shapes who you are. It builds character, strength, and resilience. Failure may feel painful in the moment, but in the long run, it's not as damaging as regret. Regret lingers. It asks, asterisk, what if? Asterisk, it reminds you of what could have been if only you had tried. Trying is how we create movement in our lives. It's how we build experience. It's how we move from where we are to where we want to be. You don't have to know everything. You don't need to have every answer. You just have to take the first step and be willing to keep going. Trying is proof that you believe your life matters enough to invest effort in it. It's proof that you haven't given up on yourself. So yes, the truth is simple. There is no excuse for not trying. Not because life is easy, not because success is guaranteed, but because trying is the only way we move forward. It's the only way we grow, change, and find out what we're really made of. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to try consistently, honestly, and with heart. And when you do, you'll find that effort brings its own rewards. It earns you wisdom, respect, and self-belief. It gives you the power to influence others and the courage to keep going. So whatever your dream is, whatever your goal may be, try, keep trying, because in the end, that effort, more than anything else, will define the kind of life you lead.